Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Find Out podcast. I believe we're at episode 35. We have some very, very exciting news that I'm going to start with rather than ending. Our long merch nightmare is over. The new merch has arrived in the store. I know I've been talking about it for weeks. I know you've been desperately waiting for these new shirts to arrive, and they are here, and they are awesome. I think most of us on the show have already ordered ours, and you can get yours at findoutpodcast.com. We even did some price adjustments to make them even more affordable. So you should go all check those out. There's one with our 5 heads in like old Victorian times or whatever it is.
We look like we're on bills. That's what that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like we're on money.
I like that.
Yeah.
$100 bill.
So
$101 bill for me.
So on the pricing, I just want to admit something real quick that I believe it is as low as we can get it without paying to send people shirts.
Oh, okay.
I could have fucked up the math and we could have to raise everything like $1. So get your shirt while it's as cheap as possible.
And let's also remind everybody, they're all made in America. They are union lettered where we could get it, I believe. So
no, entirely union. It's all union.
All union. Great. Union, made in the USA. That's why they're a little more pricey, but get them now before we jack the prices up.
Chris, I think we should do like Trump did with the medication prices when he said that he was going to reduce medications by 1,400%, 1,500%, 1,800%. Where we pay people $5,000 per shirt to take the shirt because we reduced it by 850,000%.
Yeah, I just 1 billion%. It's 1 billion% off.
1 billion.
Infinity percent. Toddler math.
But yes, so there. Unfortunately, our topics this week are not super uplifting, but they are important to talk about. And also, don't forget, at the end, we will have our new segment, Get Fucked, presented by Luke.
At the end, everyone gets to get fucked by Luke.
Oh, geez, here we go. Also, when I announce it, there's going to be a bit of a twist that nobody knows about. So just be ready for that. I've told them before. They have no idea. And I'm also making it way bigger than it really is. But anyways, so you got to stick around till the end. But so starting off here, there was a New York Times article that came out, I believe it was yesterday, that talks about how the Democratic Party is hemorrhaging voters and that many, many people are leaving the party and becoming independents. And this is in particular unnerving because we are the minority party. And usually as the pendulum swings, these things tend to swing the other way. It's worth checking it out. Right now, it looks like we have lost about 4.5 million voter registration advantage that we used to have. And it is concerning. And so what we need to talk about in this group is what are we doing wrong and how do we reverse that? So, guys, we're going to solve the Democratic Party's problems in the next 30 minutes.
Let's do it.
I'm sure everybody will listen to us and do everything we say. So who wants to kick us off with their brilliant take on why Democrats are hemorrhaging voters when we have literally the worst president in our lifetime in office right now?
I mean, well, first, go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I mean, this is really important. We need more purity tests.
That's where I was going.
We need a list of probably 750 things that have to be true. And most of them are going to contradict each other, but they have to be true about any person who's our leader. And then if we get that, all of our nightmares will go away. Absolutely.
I mean, dude, I've been sick this past week, so I've been on TikTok too much. And the amount of videos I saw going, I will never support Gavin Newsom. He's a horrendous person. And anybody, I'm like, please shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up. I cannot take another second of this shit. He's doing a good job. Like, you may not agree with everything. I don't give a shit. I've never agreed with every single candidate I voted for on everything. You got to just give him some leeway here. He's doing a good job fighting back against this orange piece of shit. Right. He's like, and he, like, I know people attack him for homelessness and trans issues. And I looked into that stuff while I was just laying there in bed. And yes, he's done things that are questionable. But he's also done a lot of shit that's really good for those communities too. It's not just like a complete like black mark on his, on his conscience. He's done a lot of stuff that's actually tried to benefit these communities too.
It's stuff that's worth like questioning, like, why the fuck did you do that? But also you have to give him credit as like, oh, he's done something.
Right, exactly. So this
that leads me to my second part with the Democratic Party, which is that somehow, with as amoral and vacuous as Gavin Newsom is, he looks fucking superb next to everybody who's standing with their fucking mouth shut. And you know what they're really not doing? endorsing people who have their mouths open, like Mamdani.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of people are dead fucking silent on somebody who is popular as shit. That is your problem.
Hakeem Jeffries, we've like New York, we've got leadership in the Democratic Party in the House and Senate, right? Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, they're like, ooh, can't endorse the guy who's running away,
wildly popular,
wildly popular in what I would argue is the most important city in the world. I'm a native New Yorker, for those who don't hear the accent anymore, by the way.
Well, and I live here now as well, and I think you're right. I think, and the Zohran thing is really interesting because yesterday he did this thing that I've never seen a politician do before. He actually, because he's basically raised so much money that there's limits on how much you can spend in the mayoral races and such. So like,
because he's not popular though.
Right, exactly. Like he also maxed out before anybody else in the primary. They had a scavenger hunt in New York, like his supporter. Yeah. Yes. They had a scavenger hunt and they had to go find things in all of these different parts of the city, and hundreds of people showed up. And it was like this big love fest for New York City. And meanwhile, like Andrew Cuomo's going like, I don't think my daughter should ride on the subway, which is bullshit because she should be able to. And like anybody living in any city, you have to keep your eyes open and you have to pay attention. And there are certain times when you should not do things, but like no candidate's solving that problem. And I think Mamdani, both he has excitement because he's willing to try some new things, but also like he just loves the city and is a guy that people could just imagine like,
you could sit
not
down and
hating
talk to
seeing
him.
on TV and not hate seeing him on your TV for the next 4 years. These things all matter. And I think you guys are right. Like what Hakeem Jeffries is doing, I don't know. I don't get it. He is playing a playbook from 10 years ago and like is missing all of the signals of what Democrats want out of him right now. Like they want him to stop or just do something, even if it's performative. And instead, like he just puts up these like very generic tweets and stuff, and it's just enraging.
I don't want the performative shit. Him standing there before the BBB with the fucking bat.
Yes,
that was
painful.
Like,
okay. Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase. Like, I at least want to see him angry.
Yeah.
And I don't see him angry. No. I see him very measured and like this is not a time for moderation, and it's a problem. And Democrats really only have themselves to blame for this, I think this exodus from the party. I think it's weakness, and I think it's not standing up for what's right.
Unless
and
you're
I think people are tired of it.
To Mike Johnson's head, I don't want to fucking see it.
Yeah, I mean the bat's stupid. Like
that was the dumbest shit ever. I'm still mad about that.
I mean, it's most of our Democratic leaders are still operating as if it's like 2012, like we're running against Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney, and everybody's like kind and decent to each other. And then you get Gavin Newsom, who, I mean, he was like 4th or 5th on my list, or like maybe 6 months ago, 4th or 5th, maybe on my list for 2028. And now he and Buttigieg are like 1 and 2 and at risk of flipping because Buttigieg is sort of like waffled on a bunch of things and Gavin's just out there fighting. And if you look at Gavin's approval rating now, it's through the roof. I think it's jumped by 20 to 30 points since he started all this in California, not nationwide. And his proposition for redistricting, I saw it was, I think 57 to 35 was the winning margin if it were to be voted on today. And people are excited to be a Newsom Democrat in California today, and they're not excited to be a Democrat anywhere else because there's nobody doing that anywhere else. Like if you ask the average person, who are the people who get you excited about the idea of Democrats being the leaders of this country, it's gonna be Newsom and Mamdani. Those are probably the only two people who show up. Maybe some Buttigieg, some Pritzker, some Beshears, people out there like regional,
maybe a Bernie,
but nationwide, it's going to be, well, and Bernie's independent, right? Like, right. So even there's some tension. There always has been. We just need people to just step up and fucking do anything. And I'm 0% concerned about party registration. I don't give a shit about what party I'm registered for as long as I can vote for the person I want to be the leader.
No, for sure. And I like when you look at the leadership situation, it's sort of like you rewind a year and we had a guy who should have retired a long time ago, who is our current leader. And then we have his predecessor just fall completely on her face. And now you have nobody in charge. And that's like, imagine a company trying to operate with nobody in charge. It's just a bunch of people running around with two different ideas of how shit should run. And like, someone's just got to go, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever the fuck is right. And that's Ben Newsom, but nobody is like anointing him as the leader. The party has to figure out a system to actually be like, this is the person we're following right now. Like, yes, he's not elected in any official capacity to lead, but like, this is the person. I really do believe we need to have something set up where it's like, get behind this person or shut the fuck up. And we don't have that.
And there is some of this where the party out of power, you know, when they first get out of power, there is a bit of wilderness period that happens, right? And
rightfully so.
Right. And because I mean, regardless of what anybody thinks, like we got smacked down in November, and luckily MAGA people sometimes just vote for Trump. And so we saved a few senators down the line because they didn't fill out their full ballots. But, you know, it's a message. But I think that what Gavin is right. But what Gavin's doing, you know, is showing leadership. And you can say it's performative or whatever, but like he is taking action and he is not just sitting back. And everybody can do that in their own way. And people clearly like it. Like no one thought 3 months ago Gavin Newsom would be the number one guy on the Democratic side. And look what he's doing. Just like literally run his playbook. And this is partially why Bernie was effective too, right? Because he stands for things and makes it very clear. I never voted for him, but I understand the support he had.
Oh, for
sure.
And
I think it's a mixture of the two things. And I do not understand why more Democrats are not doing this. I do not get it.
What I want to see is fewer people trying to vote for politicians as if they're going to be a member of their family or a best friend or a spiritual leader. It's a fucking job, you guys.
Right.
Like, it's a little tough love here, but it's a job representing people. And this is a big, dumb, diverse, weird, inexplicable country of 350 million people. California is the largest, most diverse state in terms of demographics. It's also the largest, most diverse state economically.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin Newsom is going to be performative to somebody all of the time because there are so many different people looking at him from so many different perspectives. If he's going up there and he's being angry about something that his voters tell him you need to be angry about, and he's not personally invested in that, but he's doing it anyway, he is literally performing because he is doing the fucking job that he was elected to do, which is to perform for the people he represents. If we look at that approach to everybody running in 2026, 2028, I don't actually care as long as like they're not monsters, they're not fascists, they're not pushing, like literally pushing for genocide or white nationalism, you know, all of the things that the right is actively doing right now. I don't care if they're saying the things because they were told to, because that's what voters want, or if it's because it's a cause that's truly deeply important to them. I just want them to go up there and do the fucking job so that the job gets done and I can live my regular life.
100%.
I think the key word that you just mentioned, Rich, was pushing for genocide. And that is, I think, why the Democrats have not seen the typical surge in registrations, because the Democratic Party has enabled, under the Biden presidency and today in Congress, a genocidal front against the Palestinian people. So I think that a lot of folks are looking at the Democratic Party and they are saying this party is complicit in genocide. There are exceptions, though. Like Mamdani would not take the bait and get pulled into this bullshit, right? And that is why he, I think, is so spectacularly popular, not just in New York City, but around the country. I think he's inspiring people because he's willing to stand up for what's right. And, you know, Israel policy doesn't affect, arming Israel doesn't actually affect the vast majority of most Americans.
Right.
But we all still have a conscience, right? And I think that's where the disconnect is, especially when it comes to my fellow New Yorkers, Schumer and Jeffries.
That fucking clip from that debate where they're like, where's your first out-of-country trip going to be if you're mayor? And they went, Israel. And Mamdani went, yeah, I don't see a need to leave. That was like, holy fuck.
Oh, Luke, it wasn't which country. It was specifically when are you going to Israel?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the question. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought it was where's your first
That's called a loaded question.
Yeah, really.
Well, and he answered it really well. He's like, well, how is that going to help my constituents here? I'm going to stay here. And I think that's part of the reason that he did so well. He speaks very clearly. He says exactly what he's for. He doesn't play games, like his answer on affordability is miles ahead of what any of the other candidates' answers are on affordability. And I mean, one of the candidates last week, one of their aides stuck a bunch of cash in a potato chip bag and handed it to a reporter who went immediately to the police. And they were like, well, this wasn't a bribe. I'm like, what the
fuck is it?
I mean, this is Eric Adams, by the way.
Is the one that just posted the video of him bench pressing, or was that Cuomo?
Oh God, are they taking like RFK Jr.
gym videos
style
putting jeans on?
videos?
I think it was Adams.
Okay, guys, message to all political candidates: I don't give a fuck how much you can bench. I don't care how strong you are physically. Like, stop it with this pseudo macho bullshit that means absolutely nothing except you just want to thump your chest. Like, enough.
It is really funny. I've seen a bunch of those Marjorie Taylor Greene workout videos, though, and those always make me laugh in some sort of weird way. I don't know why. It's like, what do you? It's like somebody who's never been taught how to use gym equipment is using gym equipment, and you get to just enjoy it, and you also want them to fail because they suck.
Here's what it was. Mamdani was at a Men's Day event in Brooklyn on Saturday, where he did some bench pressing part of the event. Somebody took a video of that and posted it, and Adams took that video and duetted it with a video of himself bench pressing 64 versus 33, a lifetime of hard work versus a silver spoon. The results speak for themselves. The weight of the job is too heavy for Mom Scrawny.
My God.
They should just just all take their penises out, and we could just get to the bottom of it really quick.
Right, could just like do this like.
These proxy wars are boring. Like, everybody get naked and we'll all judge their physical bodies. And the manliest man gets to be, women can't apply. Thing. Manly men.
It's really painful. I mean, Mamdani is actually the most courageous of any politician I've seen in a while. And like I've said this before, I do not agree with Mamdani on most things. But like, he was asked directly recently about like capitalism and if he likes it. He's like, no. And no other politician would be like comfortable saying that shit. He's like, no, I don't like capitalism. It's shit. And like, I like capitalism personally, but I respected the answer of like, he's not going to dance around shit and pretend to be something he's not. He's like, I have the courage to say, no, I want to break up with our relationship with capitalism. And there's going to be a ton of people who hate me for that. And I don't give a shit. That is strength in politics. Like, you don't need to fucking lift a bar above your head to prove what you can do. You got to be willing to say what you believe.
Yeah.
He's willing to say what the fuck he believes. There's no question about that.
And I think back to like the Israel Palestine challenge, it has been a transparently political non-choice for Democrats in trying to, like, all the way back to Biden, in trying to just very obviously retain as many Jewish voters who have been core to the Democratic coalition for decades. Retain as many as possible while also like sort of pacifying the people who are looking at like actual famine, which is setting in Gaza now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Millions of people could just like are just right on knife's edge. And this is just food and water, like all that food that they just let rot in that warehouse. This is a very fixable problem considering the leverage we have over Israel in aid and in military support. So this is something everybody knows. If we wanted to throw a weight around, we could go and head it off or just outright fix it. And yet Democrats are having a hard time say, well, we wouldn't want to accidentally expect too much of Jewish voters and hope that they can understand that Netanyahu is not the Israeli government, is not the Israeli people, is not the Jewish religion. Like,
stupid as shit. Look at Mamdani's numbers. He won Jewish votes.
Exactly.
By a lot. By a lot.
He's leading with them now.
By like a shit ton. By like 30% or 40% or something.
That somebody who sticks to their guns and doesn't have outlandish beliefs is fucking worthwhile and people really like that?
And could it be a population that has experienced mass violence and genocide themselves is maybe sensitive to other people also not experiencing the same fucking thing?
Yep.
Like,
see, the greatest irony that we have with this situation is Democrats are afraid to walk away from Israel, primarily because they're afraid of being labeled as anti-Semitic. Yeah. But the most anti-Semitic belief is that every Jewish person around the world is loyal to Israel before they are their own families, their own country, their own morals, right?
Right, their values, right?
Democrats are showing anti-Semitism by refusing to condemn a genocide.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the Jew on the panel here. I don't know a single Jew in my life that would be scared off by supporting helping people in Gaza. Not one. Like it's become such a strange thing where like they think the second that you go, ooh, maybe we should take care of Palestinian people, they go, oh, why do you hate Jews? Like no Jew. I mean, unless they're like nuts. No average Jew thinks that, and that's why Mamdani wins by the margin he does as a Muslim person himself. You know, it makes absolutely no sense. It is the most fear-based thinking I could possibly imagine. That's what the Democratic Party's devolved into. They just go, well, should we make a move? I don't know if we should make a move. What if this? What if it's like, shut the fuck up and do the right thing and you'll do fine. Right. Yeah, that's just please. Right. It's not complicated. Like if you're looking at people getting slaughtered in a genocide, probably be against it. You know, maybe it's a good idea.
And don't call them a best friend that you need to like hug and help them get better.
Right.
Personally, like, if I had a best friend that was committing genocide, they wouldn't be my friend anymore.
Right, exactly. And it's like the false bullshit of like, well, do you support Hamas? Like it's two totally different things. Like it's just the whole narrative is just so broken. And if Democrats just come out and fix that broken narrative, they'd be so far ahead.
Yep.
Other than that, I think we're in a pretty good position coming into the next couple of elections.
Other than all those things we just listed.
Mm-hmm. It just points to people want a strong leader more than any individual issue, I think. I mean,
they want honesty.
Because we keep electing Donald Trump, we've done it twice now, and there is a message to the Democrats in that, right? Like he doesn't waffle, at least
never.
Well, he waffles in his administration, but in his words, like
probably eats a lot of waffles.
Oh yeah,
he seems like a waffle guy.
The health is not good there. He's still stumbling around when he walks.
Both hands have bruises now.
Oh, but
now
sorry,
they've got all. Yeah.
Okay, have you guys seen all these videos? There's like 1,000 videos on my feed every day now about how he's like about to die. Like people saying like, I'm a doctor, and he is going to die inside the next 6 months. He's showing all the signs of somebody who is about to die, and that's why he's lashing out. And I'm like,
nah.
I'm going to watch every video to the end because it's just kind of like cathartic. I don't know. It feels nice, but it also feels like
every time I read an article that starts with Donald Trump 79. They shouldn't be allowed to start it that way.
I think if a doctor is diagnosing on TV, you should not listen to them.
Right.
Number one,
no question.
Especially on TikTok.
Well, we had this issue. Luke, you probably won't remember this one, but there was this issue with this woman, Terry Schiavo. Do you know who Terry Schiavo is, Luke?
Nope.
There you go. Okay.
Neither do I, and I'm
the florist vegetable.
So. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh boy.
So, for those you don't know, there was a woman who had a severe eating disorder to the point where she went into cardiac arrest, and they revived her physically, but she never regained consciousness, and they said that she was brain dead. Her husband wanted to pull the plug, and her family did not. They were religious, and they were like, no, we need to keep it on. He claimed that she never wanted that, and it was this whole fight. And then Jeb Bush stepped in because of his religion and was like saying, yeah, and was sided with the family over the husband. But Bill Frist, who was the Senate Majority Leader for a while, and the Minority Leader, who was a medical doctor, was diagnosing her from the floor of the Senate, saying that he saw brain activity. Now, of course, when she eventually passed away and they did an autopsy, there was no activity. But anyways, it just comes to like, that was the moment where I was like, doctors really shouldn't be diagnosing from seeing like a video and then just deciding from there. So we shouldn't be doing it on the other side.
Telehealth isn't a replacement for actual.
Right. Yeah, it's very nuanced. Like I see it all the time too. My feed is just full of, he's got chronic venous insufficiency. Therefore, all this, like, dude, you could have
congestive heart failure. He's going to die on Sunday.
Yeah,
you fucking liar.
It's just not how it works. Like we need to see the labs. We need to see all the shit, that all the scans and the ultrasounds that went in his legs. Then you could make a diagnosis. Without it, you're just fucking guessing.
You want to say, okay, he looks like he exhibits congestive heart failure? Fine. But don't tell me and get my hopes up that he's going to die in the next 2 weeks. Don't tell me that shit.
I think it just makes us look crazy. I get that people want to talk about it, but like we need to focus on winning midterms next year, not just crossing our fingers and hoping It's something else. Because also, I will tell you that is not a solution to our problems, because then you end up with President Vance, who probably is a much smarter person.
He's got Peter Thiel's fucking hand up his ass.
He does.
Yep. So like, it's actually not. The chaos actually works in our favor a lot of times, because it means they can't get as much done, because he is not a disciplined person.
Taking over is that he doesn't have nearly the control over the fucking cult.
Right.
And never will.
Never will.
True.
No. And he doesn't have like Trump's, like, I mean, I hate to say it, his it factor. Like, he just doesn't.
If Trump says, shut up, I don't want to hear about that anymore.
Right.
And provided it's not this Epstein thing, pretty much his face shuts the fuck up and never talks about it again.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, for me, it wouldn't even be close. I would prefer J.D. Vance over Donald Trump, especially because J.D. Vance is very predictable, too. Like, Trump is so aggressively unpredictable, and that alone is like, should be disqualifying in and of itself, but it's not, apparently.
We forget that Trump hosted a reality TV show for like 10 years. Like, he's very well rehearsed in putting on a show. And I never watched that show because he sucks and it sucked. And yet it commanded millions and millions of viewers because other people don't think like me. And so that's something I have had to come to grips with is, okay, he obviously has the it factor. He has some ability to influence millions of people that doesn't work on me, but it works on everyone else. And I can squarely say that JD Vance cannot host a reality TV show for 10 years and command millions of viewers. It would be horrific.
He does know how to put his own makeup on, though.
He does.
It's true.
The eyeliner in particular.
On the topic of Trump having this reality show presidency, Reuters published an article today about how he is going to be signing, I think today, so yesterday, if you're listening to this episode fresh, instructing Pam Bondi to go after people who burn or otherwise disrespect the American flag. So what he is doing is he is tempting a bunch of leftists to go out and say, here's me burning the flag, making videos of themselves, come fucking get me, which of course is right and is legal. Like, they can do that. That is case law establishes that. But the net effect is going to be that Fox News for the next few weeks is going to be featuring people burning American flags instead of talking about Trump being in the Epstein files.
Yep.
Yeah. And that is a First Amendment right, as you said. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Republicans bring this out every once in a while when they need, like you said, a distraction from the reality, which, again, like last week, the Justice Department made a big deal about releasing some Epstein files that when the press got their hands on them, went, we already have this shit. We already had it. So they're very clearly staying away from it because he's on the list.
But Jim Jordan says that he's not.
Ghislaine Maxwell said he was never anything but kind to her.
Yes.
I can believe that.
A convicted felon and a guy who turned a blind eye to SA on the Ohio State campus, I believe. Yeah, these are our trustworthy sources to discount the fact that everyone else says that Donald Trump is on the Epstein
when you
list.
say convicted felon, are you talking about Donald Trump or Ghislaine Maxwell?
Ooh.
Yes.
Because they're both convicted.
Yes, exactly.
But she did say it in the interviews, I think, with the Justice Department, and by the Justice Department, I mean Trump's personal lawyer that he brought into the government, that she did claim that she never saw any. I don't know how she framed it.
He's a perfect gentleman, I think, was something like that.
Perfect,
he was perfectly.
was one of them.
He was a perfect, which is a canned phrase that you would give to somebody if you wanted them to say something that was instantly, salient for millions of people.
Are you suggesting that we cannot trust her testimony?
No. Yes. No, we can't trust it. Yes, I'm overtly demanding that nobody trusts. It's almost like if it's not just Maxwell, we should get everybody who's intimately aware of this, put them all into a room and have them all share their version of events. And then we could have like an independent group of people decide if Maxwell is lying or not. And we could call it, a courtroom.
Oh man,
that's a cool idea.
We don't do that these times. The courts, those don't exist anymore. We don't.
I would rather trust Todd Blanche interviewing somebody who sex traffics little girls than trust, the judgment of the jury that already convicted Ghislaine Maxwell of being a fucking serial trafficking rapist, liar, piece of shit felon who should probably get the Guantanamo. No, CCOT. Let's put her in CCOT. See what happens.
Well, it can't be Alligator Alcatraz anymore, right? Because didn't the judge shut that down last week?
I think they did shut it down, but I think that DeSantis is ignoring it.
Yeah, they're not going to give a shit.
Oh yeah,
That'll
we don't listen
probably
to
go
courts
fine.
anymore.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, what's the
I
big
think
deal?
Go there for next.
It was one of those like you have to tear it down immediately, and also we'll pause this so that you can appeal, and then they appeal, and then everybody like. But it might actually get shut down because they tried to. I didn't even know this, but until I read about it, but they tried to build like a jet strip in that exact same spot many years ago, and that all got shut down by the exact same. It's a group of I think a Native American group, right? It's a Native group, and that views that as. I'm way out of my comfort zone talking about this, so I'm just not going to say any other words.
Shit.
But
that's what it is. It's environmental shit.
I don't know if it's like sacred grounds but yes, it is. It's a native group, and they sued effectively and won already to shut something down, and they just ignored that ruling this time and putting Alligator Alcatraz there. So there's a non-zero chance that the whole thing gets ripped up and torn down, just like Doge, and it just goes the way of Elon Musk.
Well, it's also in the middle of the Everglades, which is prone to flooding.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like it's already flooded in like the first week that they had it open. So
that was the point.
Anyway, well, yeah. So
they're using one of the bigger bases, that whereas Japanese internment camps.
Yeah, internment camps.
What was it called? Ice detainment now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So they have built an ice facility on top of a Japanese internment camp, which is wonderful symbolism for everybody to see.
Blah blah blah. History rhymes. We get it.
I think the important part is that all of these things are going to collectively bring down the costs of energy and beef.
God damn it.
Yeah.
And increase wages.
I think eggs are getting cheaper, right?
Yeah.
And
Gas
increase wages. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is exactly what all of those, those sort of confused swing voters said that they were voting for was, concentration camps and genocide and
a repeat of the 40s.
How many millions of dollars have we spent deporting and redeporting Kilmar Abreu Garcia at this point? We're talking about private jets to and from Central America, private jets maybe to Africa now, so that we can fucking ruin a family. Also, so what exactly? What? Why are we doing this again? I forget.
Well,
does anyone remember?
So everybody. Because we're making America great again.
Duh.
Obviously, and then the best way to do that is to throw out immigrants, whether they deserve to be thrown out or not.
Right. Yeah. How do you identify an immigrant? Is it just a brown person, or is there something else that has to be
true? The guy when they're at the airport, they hold up a.
Well, it's not based on any paperwork because they've arrested American citizens as well. So yes, I think it is because you are brown or black that they grab you, and then they figure it out later, which is a great strategy for a democracy.
Tom Homan said that. He said that they were going to fucking start doing it that way.
So we're 8 months into the year. And this year, there has been less activity from the neo-Nazi extremist, like white supremacist groups that I track.
They've got their ICE badges.
It is the first time that we have seen activity levels decrease. And
when asked,
because journalists are interviewing these people, they're saying, why go out and protest if everything the government is doing is what we were calling for all this time? I mean,
so they're Thanos
they got their first job too.
Yeah, they're Thanos at the end after he snaps his fingers, and then he just goes and sits in a chair, and he's like, "My work here is done." They're just all Thanos, just like
over the course of 8 years, we went from the vast majority of Republicans in office condemning Charlottesville to the vast majority of Republicans, an entire party, supporting all of the things that the Charlottesville Nazis were calling for. That's the reality we're living in. We have concentration
great work,
camps.
guys.
We have troops in the street.
We did it.
Like,
wow.
That's it. We are living in a country where Nazis are like, I'm not going to bother protesting anymore because we're here.
Yeah, they're doing what I want.
It's like the South Park problem where they can't. They're incapable of re-upping themselves. Like every episode that they're trying to be more ridiculous than reality, but like reality keeps catching them.
Mm-hmm.
These Nazis, they're like, guys, our wildest fantasies came true 100 years early. What else are we going to do? Like, who are they going to turn on next?
Well, let's actually talk about one of the things I think that they are probably happy about, which most Americans will not be happy about, which is the fact, and Chris is going to talk about this one, but the fact that the VA, the Trump administration through the VA is looking to make sure that veterans cannot have abortions, even if they are in blue states. Chris, do you want to give us a little on this super uplifting topic?
Yeah. So, guys, no one comes to me for good news. So I'm sorry for just being who I am. But this is important. And the thing that you need to know is that it's not too late for everyone listening to do something about it. So most people know who pay attention to politics and media that August tends to be the slow month. This is a little bit different this year because Donald Trump is deploying American troops on American streets. So there has been quite a bit of news. What has gotten buried is that early in August, Donald Trump's basically took Project 2025's idea of eliminating abortion access for veterans at VA hospitals and proposed a rule, a regulation. Now, the comment period is about a month long. I think a little less than a month in this case. During the quietest month, when there's a lot of people just not paying attention to what's going on, and it ends right after Labor Day on September 3rd. So I discovered over the weekend, because I do research and that's kind of my thing, I've discovered these kind of spam campaigns in the past, that Christian nationalist groups are organizing to spam comments. I have watched over just the past 2 days alone, thousands of comments coming in, which are supporting Trump's proposal to ban abortion for women veterans, which is fucking offensive. And it is a disgrace that women who serve their country have a 1 in 3 chance of coming forward with having experienced sexual trauma as it relates to their service. 1 in 3 women who serve in the military will experience sexual trauma. And with that being a well-known fact, Trump's administration is taking away the right for reproductive health care up into the point that someone is dying. That's the only exception, is when a veteran is very clearly going to die if they don't get this abortion. That is the proposed rule. And Christo-fascists are organizing. So what I'm asking our listeners to do, and we will send out this in our show notes on Substack, is how to leave a public comment. It's important that you don't just like copy and paste what somebody else wrote. It's important that you write something that says, this is why you support a woman's access to choose at these VA hospitals.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I think we know from the overturning of Roe v. Wade that the health exception, in reality, what happens there is that they wait until the absolute last minute to take preventative measures because the doctors and the nurses don't want to go to jail. And sometimes it's just too late. And these guys who write these policies know that, know that the health exception, like, is a very difficult, it's very difficult to be like, this person is dying right now, or they might live, right? That this is why when, this happened when my dad was sick, I asked the doctor, like, how much time I had left. They hate that answer or that question because they don't know. So when you are telling somebody that they could go to jail unless they can justify that this person, it was absolutely going to die, they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this, like, in many instances, this is just like you would be stuck with carrying to term fetus that was the result of a sexual assault.
Yeah. Now, here's why I'm bringing this up, and it's important that people like act now. So go to findoutpodcast.substack.com, and with this video, with this podcast, we're going to include instructions in the show notes on how you can fight this. The reason why this is so important is we've only got a week. We've got a week from the time that this podcast comes out to organize people. Now, the way that this rulemaking process and public commenting process is supposed to work is the government reads through these comments and basically looks at it like, okay, does the public support this rule or do they not? The way that they're supposed to do this is like they'll look at batch comments, the copy and pastes, and they'll be like, we'll weigh these lightly. These are people who care, but they don't care that much. And they weigh that against people who write sincere, authentic, and original comments, and they weigh those more heavily. The Trump administration, we can expect them to just simply go, there were 8,000 comments that were for our policy, and there were like 300 comments that were against our policy. So the emphasis here is Donald Trump is doing a lot of things to destroy rules and norms, and a lot of people are feeling hopeless. You should not feel hopeless and simply give up on the tools of democracy. Right now is the time where we can show and inspire other Americans. Like if doing this podcast and writing this piece on Substack impacts, hundreds or thousands of people, and thousands of people come onto the government regulation website and say that they support women's rights to choose, that will signal to other Americans that we haven't lost our democracy yet. The alternative is we go, well, they're going to do it anyway, so why even fight back? And that becomes a habit. If we just give up and let them steamroll women veterans' access to healthcare, they're going to continue doing exactly that. They're going to know that there's no opposition, and it's going to embolden them further. So I know I'm the bad news guy, but I'm here to tell you that you can act now to stop the bad news from getting worse, and you can make it better.
Well, we also want to make sure we take a talking point away from them, which is, oh, well, nobody wrote in any negative to this, which they will do. So you need to take that power away from them. And these comment periods are very, very important. So I hope you all do go to the Substack to send in your note and say why you're against this.
I think it's smart.
Important.
It makes me think of something I was thinking of this weekend, where it's like you look at what Newsom is doing in California with this gerrymandering situation of actually having a vote. And there's certain things the Trump administration, like, for example, saying they want to go to Chicago and take over and, federalize the police force there. You would think if this was a popular idea, it would be they want to get the perspective of the city that they're going to go in and federalize the police of. The Democrats should be pushing and going, look, if you think this is something people want in these cities, have the city vote for it. And if they vote for it, go on in, have fun with it. Like, we got to start pressing people in the shit in ways that we functionally can. And be like, hey, if you think this is popular, hold a special election to see if we want to federalize the police force in Chicago. Hold a special election to see if we want to take these rights away. Like, they will lose every single time. And if you make the narrative go, they don't want to actually have people's voices involved in this, they just want to steamroll you, that makes them look worse.
Yeah. And it's funny to see on the DC stuff, they keep pushing these drops in crime, and they're like, look, since
it's too short.
Come in.
It's too short. It's too short a time. You can't measure it. I hate that shit.
Too short. Second of all, the DC takeover is costing at least $1 million a day. So if you wanted this for a year, it would cost $365 million at minimum. Also, you live in a police state. And, do you know some other places that had low crime or had low crime? North Korea has low crime. The Soviet Union had low crime. China has low crime. Are you willing to trade your rights for low crime? And this is part of the thing with democracy, is when you give people freedoms, not everybody uses them the right way, which is why we have police forces and prosecutors and all of these things. I guess if you want to live in a police state, I don't have much I can argue with you on. But if you do, well, then you should be all about doing, let's see, Memphis, red state, worst crime in the country. Kansas City, number 2, red state. So, is this about scaring a bunch of minorities in a blue city, or is this about solving crime? And I think we know the answer to that.
So
I was reading that there are a bunch of fucking restaurants in DC that are talking about how no one is coming out to eat anymore because nobody, like, what do you want? I'll take the seat with the view of the fascists as they patrol the street.
Yeah, with the machine gun strapped to them.
I'll take that view.
It's a lovely dining experience down in Logan Circle.
The National Guard
like that.
posted a propaganda video today talking about, like, actually showing this is a beautification process. And as a veteran, as someone who served in the Army, I have to say that it is the most accurate recruiting commercial I have ever seen. To see a bunch of junior soldiers forced to walk across a field and pick up cigarette butts, that is the most accurate recruiting commercial I have ever seen. Because anyone who's been in the military can tell you that you spend an unbelievable amount of time walking across fields and parking lots, picking up trash, doing things like painting curbs and painting rocks. It is like the vast majority of the first year of your experience in the active duty military. So in a way, I have to appreciate the National Guard for being so honest with what they're actually making these troops do now.
That does bring me to a slight point of happiness. Did you see that the White House started a TikTok page this last week?
Oh yes,
and they're just getting fucking ratioed repeatedly in the comments.
No.
I've had it a couple times, and I was like, wait a minute, I do not interact with shit like that. You get this off my fucking feed. I'm sure I'm on a list for leaving comments, like I have been. I've been joining all the other fucking liberal fucking people commenting, where are the Epstein files? I mean, there's one guy that got like 80,000 likes on his fucking "Where's the Epstein files" comment on that fucking
holy
video.
shit.
And the video itself only had like 20,000 likes.
Well, the favorite video
point to an interesting thing that like it's showing up on people's feeds who it shouldn't be showing up on.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think a lot of left-leaning creators have strongly suggested that they have been suppressed recently. So it's quite telling that a brand new account on the completely other side of the spectrum is all of a sudden, killing it. But I'm sure that they are talking to the TikTok folks.
Well, actually, they're doing terribly. They're doing quite terribly.
Oh, I believe it.
Views.
Well, there you go. I will say I saw a video this week that I lived in DC for 10 years. So this is a bit of an inside the Beltway joke, but some civilian was talking to one of the guys in the National Guard. And he was like, basically like, are you even from here? And the guy's like, yeah, I'm from DC, the guy in the Guard. And then of course the next question then becomes, oh, well, where? And the guy's, oh, well, I'm actually from Virginia. And it's like, well, wait, where in Virginia? It turns out it's like way out. And if you know DC, like people are very like, if you're in DC, if you say you're from DC, you live in the District of Columbia. You do not live in Maryland and you do not live in Virginia. And it's just really funny to see these old school DC folks like just walking these guys into a trap to show that they are not from there, which is not a very difficult thing to do. But yeah, it's not a good sign that this is going on. And I think Chicago and New York and other places will be next. Again, all places that are lower on the crime rate scale than red cities.
I also don't like, are they like in the trenches of these cities? Or are they just like in the main touristy parts? Like, look at us with our guns. We're like, it's a photo op. Like,
just in the touristy parts. And the reason is because it's propaganda effort. Like a photo of a soldier, standing up somewhere up on U Street, like doesn't communicate anything to Americans. A soldier in front of the National Mall, in front of the Washington Monument, that is both, and I've talked about this on TikTok, it's both a threat to your enemies and it's emboldening to your allies. So the point of getting the National Guard to get all of this press, the saturation of the National Guard on social media, is to make it so that people like us are supposed to feel intimidated, and ICE agents who are just a few blocks away, like beating the shit out of just random people who live in DC, so that they feel emboldened. Right. The message is for two primary audiences. The history books
for this particular period are going to have some crazy fucking pictures. They aren't going to be boring.
That's for sure. I mean, I would love them to be boring.
I would like boring. I'm tired of unprecedented times. I would like some precedented
Me too. But you know what? The reason I brought that up is I was thinking about it. I was like, imagine if they did send them into like the south side of Chicago. I'd be like, good luck, dude. You're right. You're like, it would just be the worst thing you've ever seen happen to them. I'd be like, well, there were 17 fatalities for the National Guard today.
There was a guy in Texas who walked up to somebody's house with a fucking ski mask on and a thing that said police and got blasted. I'll be interested to see how that particular court case turns out.
Hey guys, I have to jump, but keep it going with the episode. Sorry to our listeners, I can't bring the mood down anymore, but I got other responsibilities. So you guys,
okay.
I'll see you later.
Easy guy.
See you later, man.
Well, with that, I think it might be time to move to our next segment, which is.
I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to do it.
What's that?
I was going to say "Get Fucked" by Luke, but I think
did you hear the sound?
Some kind of a new intro.
Wait, was there no sound there?
I didn't hear anything. I think Tim fucked it up. He's too old.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for.
Little drum roll.
Get Fucked, presented by Luke.
All right, I want to ask you guys a question.
Mm-hmm.
If a black lesbian woman was in charge of a school and was caught watching videos of an explicit nature after proclaiming about how books with heterosexual relationships were porn and they shouldn't be allowed in school, and was talking about how if you don't have a fucking list of shit that says I support Democrats and I will never be a teacher that presents anything else, what do you think would happen to them?
Would not go well.
It would not go well.
It would not be good.
So why in the miserable fuck is Ryan Walters still in charge of Oklahoma? Motherfucker's got a state that is at the bottom of the list in fucking education, and somehow people tout him as some kind of a fucking genius. Mm-hmm. This miserable prick deserves nothing but the worst, and it is as that I would like to tell him to get fucked. I fucking hate him. It seems like every time there's some news about him that comes out, you think, oh shit, I interrupted my own applause.
Jeez.
He's got some serious sound effects, but like,
it keeps going.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Madison Square Garden.
You would think this, I got a real audience. You would think this motherfucker would, every time there's news about him, it's something just awful. And you think, oh, okay, he'll be done. And then it never is. It never is.
No, it never ceases to amaze me.
There's not even an
difference.
Investigation going on to the fact that he was watching porn at the office.
No, the hypocrisy is out of control for how the right handles this shit. That just like they refuse to look inward, and the second you do anything wrong on the other side, they're like, look, it's the worst person you've ever seen. Like, okay.
That piece of shit talks about how any book that shows any relationship that's not heterosexual is fucking porn and it shouldn't be around kids. But he is literally watching porn in the office where his secretaries can see it when they walk in.
Who watches porn at work?
Right. That's who.
Weird shit.
You can't wait till you get home. Right. Like it's just an emergency. You gotta watch at work.
It's a titty emergency. Holy shit!
Oh my god! He's just the fucking worst. He's the worst.
But he also wants the Bible in schools. He wants loyalty tests.
Loyalty tests.
I know.
I
bet you $1's not buying Gavin Newsom's Bible.
No, I don't think so.
Did you see that he's selling them?
Yeah.
Is he?
He's selling them, and all the MAGA chuds on the internet are losing their mind. But how dare you deface the Bible?
Are you defacing anything? Didn't change what's inside.
Yeah. Also, how much money has Donald Trump made selling Bibles?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you see that they caught his ass? Speaking of grifts, did you see that they caught Trump's ass with the fact that his Trump phone, they changed it? Because initially they were like, oh, this is the phone it is. And it was some Chinese manufactured thing that they had rebranded. Mm-hmm. And now the Photoshop renders on the website are like the Samsung S21 Ultra, but with the skin on it that's a fucking phone case. You can see the Samsung logo through the case.
Oh my God.
So are they just selling basically a phone in a case?
I think so.
Of course. What do you think? They're going to manufacture a whole new phone? That's insane. The amount of money it would take.
It was going to be touched by American hands, Zach.
Right. That's the thing.
You idiot.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's so fucking stupid, dude. I can't stand it. Like, how do they keep falling for it? Just come on. It's so simple.
It must make a lot of sense if your mom is also your cousin, but like, holy fuck.
Oh, wait.
Hey, there we go.
There's a comparison I'm going to make.
No, don't.
Yeah, there we go. I found these buttons, guys, and now it's over.
It's over. It's so over.
It's painful.
Yep. Well, I think that probably... Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Do you have another sound for this? Okay. What was that?
Well, I think that's all the time we have today, folks.
The transition sound.
Yes, it is transition 2. I don't know where transition 1 is. There's a 2 and a 5. I don't know.
Really I would say what we're using. I would off the rails. Rich and Chris leave, and the three of us just go turn into idiots.
Well, I have also figured out that I can upload sounds too. So next week I'll forget though by the time we do this again next week. But I think that's enough for today. It's the last week of the summer. Like everyone's going back to school next week if they haven't already. It's not, I don't, in New York, it's like going to be like 38% humidity. So I need to go outside.
It's 69 degrees out right now.
Wow.
That sounds terrible. Too cold.
Is that,
real?
Yeah.
That is my
too
kind of
cold.
weather.
Too
I want it
cold.
about 20 degrees colder, and then it'll be really my kind of weather.
I'm ready for
that southern heat.
See, I'm ready for sweatshirt season. And
sweatshirt
and
season.
if you, and by the way, if you need a sweatshirt,
that's a hell of a transition.
There is one available in the Find Out store, which I wear all the time, and it is lovely. It's very comfortable.
It is.
Along with our four? Did we do 4 new ones? Yeah, we did 4 new ones. 4 new shirts, all very different. You can get them in white and black and all the different sizes. They're made in America. They're great. You just get them at findoutpodcast.com. And if you want to support us on Substack, because we also have to make some money at this, you can go subscribe for $6 a month at findoutpodcast.substack.com. I think that's all we've got today. On behalf of Luke and Zach and Rich and Chris, thank you for listening, and we will be back on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody.